Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of Breaking 2000. In this episode I'm going to show you two positions, or rather one game and one position that you can hopefully also learn something from, as I also learned something from it. So this position is actually also taken from this course that I already mentioned last episode, the 100 or the 101 Endgames Studies, and it's by Kling and Horowitz from 1851. To solve this position, it's white to move, and the solution is quite easy. We have king opposition, so any sort of rook check along the 8th rank would be checkmate, but we still have this little guy here in the way, the bishop on d8. And so to actually win this position, we're just going to pin the bishop, so the bishop is now unable to move. You can't move it because the king would be put to check. And there's only one legal move for the king, and it is to go to b8. And here we can just take the free piece. And after the check, king has to go to c7. And here just a simple waiting move, for example, rook to c8 would help because the king cannot access the a8 square. It has to go to a6, and now, of course, rook to a8 is checkmate. So let's move on to my game of the day. It was a rapid game against Matake. He is rated or was rated 1787, and at the start of this game I was rated 1801. And as you can see by the ratings on the bottom, I lost unfortunately, but more to that later. The game started off with move knight to f3, knight to f6, c4, e6, and now this move knight c3, move d5 and e3. And I really have to study this, I think, because it is supposed to be statistically quite good for white, this opening, but I always end up just, playing the same moves and getting into a stupid middle game. So the idea or the main plan that I know of playing here is just playing queen c2, b3, bishop b2, bishop e2. But I never really understand which move order to take, so that's one problem. And then as we reach the middle game, we can see that it's just a normal position, and white hasn't really achieved much. If anything, black is probably better here, due to the standoff of the queen and the rook, which is I think favorable for black. If the position opens up, I go for rook ad1. He takes once takes, and here I expected c takes d5 because he's giving me an isolated pawn, and I think I would have probably recaptured with the pawn to keep them both together. But then I was afraid of bishop takes, and then just taking the hanging pawn. But apparently white has compensation here. The engine wants me to play queen to e2, and apparently, first of all, the rook is saying so. Let's say, I don't know, let's just go back. Okay, then there's d5. Okay, so apparently white has compensation here and can play for some sort of dynamic counterplay, but he instead went for the move a6, and I think it's just to prevent my knight from going to b5. Here I found the best move, just playing d5. This was something I knew still from these kinds of positions, that if you can play d5 in those e6 positions and you box in the bishop, the bishop is now looking at the pawn. I mean, it's attacking it, but realistically the scope was shortened by this bishop. It's usually a very good idea to do so. We have the move e takes d5, e takes d5. Now I'm threatening the move pawn to d6, attacking the bishop, and the bishop, of course, has no square to go to, so it would be actually trapped. So that's why he went for bishop e6. And I feel like here is where everything is starting to go south for me. The engine finds a very nice move here, and I saw this move, but I thought it would be just refuted by a simple move. It's a move knight to g5. Sorry, there was a lot of moves, but this move actually is kind of good. And in the game, I thought that just a simple h6 would be completely, fine for black. You could argue that, white has created a weakness or hook, but what the actual follow-up was, I didn't see that. So white can go here for the move knight c to e4, and this move may look a bit crazy to you because there's knight taking, but once I actually went into this line, I understood that black cannot community take here because first of all the bishop is hanging, and that's also the best continuation, but then there's also more to follow. So right now it's equal material, but black can actually grab this pawn here with the bishop, and after some moves like queen to f5 attacking the pawn, bishop to e6, queen takes pawn, we have this position and the engine claims it's completely winning for white. I guess the idea is just that the attack is just way too strong. We have a lot of pressure here along these diagonals. The other bishop can join. Maybe even some rook lift is possible in the future, where we maybe can get the rook closer into the attack. And, white is doing fairly well here. I didn't see this in the game, of course. Also, if you're wondering, instead of taking on on g5, what's the best continuation here? It's apparently knight takes e4, and after knight takes e4, black should probably go for some move like queen e7, attacking the knight, and white is also generally happy here, I would say. It's still very hard to see, I think, from afar that you can just play after knight g5, knight c2, e4, because you just leave the knight hanging, but apparently it works in white's favor. Instead, I went for the move queen to f5. I had a feeling that I want to control this square here on d5 on e5 with my pieces. So my plan was to get it under control. I was expecting rook to e8, and that's exactly what happened. And now initially I wanted to go for some knight maneuver when I recognized that I don't have like a really good square for it. Like I wanted to play something like, I don't know where I wanted to go, like a typical maneuver to like the king side. But then I saw that this knight doesn't really have that many good squares to go to. Then I thought about, well, I can just play a move like bishop d3. But then I thought, well, he can just now go for knight to e5, which is apparently not even the best move in the position. Apparently you can just go for c4, and I thought something like this. Maybe no, still no knight e5. Engine wants just this, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't see this in the game. So yeah, I just played the move rook to d2. I can't really explain this move. I thought, well, I just want to defend my pieces in sort of, prophylactic way. And it's now looking at it, it was a stupid move to begin with. Another move that I contemplated was rook to e1, but apparently that's not much better either, because these pawns that black has on the queen side, sorry, this is the wrong color. Oh, let's just use this color anyway. They are much stronger than my solo pawn. So black has this isolated, not this isolated, but this defended passed pawn, which is gonna run to victory for him. Meanwhile, I need to mobilize these two pawns, and that's not so easy, because right now black has a lot of pressure on this square, so I can't conveniently push for e4. So let's say, for example, I play here the move e4. I think black is just even quicker than me. I don't have e5 to trap the pieces. I would need to get this knight out of the way to appreciate, like, to get this tactic running. But yeah, I'm just way too slow, and that's what I also felt in the game. So I played just this move rook to d2, and from here my opponent didn't play the best moves, but I didn't either. And yeah, eventually this became a very horrible game. He got the square on b3 and also other potential squares, also the control over the e4 square completely now, so I could never even dream about playing e4 myself or getting this knight to a reasonable square. So I tried anyway. I tried to open up the bishop to maybe get some tactics going for me, but my pawn just played the move knight to e4. And here it also doomed on me that my queen is kind of trapped. Like, there are not that many squares she can go to. So yeah, I sort of was expecting to maybe also lose her next couple of turns, and it's exactly what happened. Like, after the move rook to c2, bishop d5, I just tried some move like knight g5, but even h6 and going back. At this point I could have resigned. I tried one last tactic with bishop takes d4, bishop takes f5, and now I just tried to get something like this going. But even if he would have taken with the king, it's completely lost. I'm just down so much material, 7 points of material, and probably here would have resigned at latest. But yeah, it was a horrible game, and it all really comes down to me not understanding the dynamics of this position and going for this weird queen maneuver, and yeah, this rook maneuver, which is not that great. In general, I feel like I have a lot of problems maneuvering heavy pieces, because yeah, it's sometimes weird to me, or not easy to understand where they belong. And yeah, later on, it just turned out that my queen has no squares to go to. I think at the end it all comes down to me not understanding this position here from the get-go, or even this position, because It is actually one of my worst scoring variations in the entire repertoire that I have. And it made me also, after playing this game, think about maybe switching to another opening just to see something different. But maybe I will stick to the Reti. I have played it for a long time. And if I don't get this variation, for example, if I get like a Reti Gambit Accepted or some other side variations or even the Slav defense against the Reti, I'm usually quite happy. Also, I love to play against King's Indian or Queen's Indian type of, developments or like modern developments. But against this particular opening, I have some problems. I tried out the move G3 in the past as well. Not in this particular move order. I think first here I have to play d4, and let's say after bishop e7 here g3, because now there's no d4. This is just a normal Catalan, I think, close. Pretty quickly. And I like to play this position, something like this. I have played in the past with a4. I think not a4. Queen c2. What was the theory here? I forgot. Maybe I'm also confusing positions here, but nevertheless, it was a very bad game, and I hope I can do better in the next one. This episode is a little bit shorter because I have something to do afterwards. I'm gonna go to a football match, which will be amazing, and I hope I see you tomorrow, and I hope tomorrow I can finally get the first rapid win in. That was everything. Bye bye.